Hey folks, it's T2sday. The goals for today, Beevee follows faster. We got Beevee tracking the line between the checkerboard grid tiles in Beevee's little simulated world, and it wasn't pretty, but it did work. Beevee follows faster. Oh yeah. He's going quite a bit faster. I mean, incredibly slow in the grand scheme of things, but compared to last time, there was a stretch goal of Beevee counting tiles. We achieved that too. And one of the things that I had been waiting the longest for, localization and mapping I've been waiting a long time for, but in a more down-to-earth practical sense, was being able to make controlled turns, reliable turns. We've got that as a double stretch goal that wasn't even mentioned before. So we'll take a look at that. Review my world model. I'll do that sort of indirectly. Make fun and share it. I realized after I did this last time that make fun could be considered to be like mockery. Obviously, not what I was intending. Okay, let's go. So development first, then community, and then my take on the world model review a little bit. It's an ongoing thing. So development, let's start by checking in with Beevee. Great stuff. Oh, come on. Let's watch it again, said Beevee. That's the third time, said Seneca. Come on, said Beevee, one more time. Seneca sighed and smiled and restarted the new research progress supercut. Again. Look at me, said Beevee. I look like an old man. Well, at least I'm following the damn line, said Beevee. Now, language, said Seneca. I'm not saying it, said Beevee. The lead dev said it. I'm just quoting. Save it for something worth it, said Seneca. I mean, what are you thinking about in all this? You've got a whole new skill now. You're the racer Beevee. Who knows what it might lead to? What do you think about it? Well, it's funny, said Beevee. I mean, it all seems really kind of fussy. These tiny little differences in these gray sensors that make such a big deal. And, I like the curvy stuff. I liked it when I was chasing all over the place, following the yellow balls. This fussy stuff, it kind of makes me feel like a damn robot, said Beevee. Well, there you go, said Seneca. Well, there I do go, said Beevee. Look at that. Oh, yeah. I'm really flying there. Great stuff. Come on, let's watch it again. So, I'll talk a little bit about the process of figuring out how to speed Beevee up. The fundamental key to it, really, or at least the feather, Dumbo's feather, for me being Dumbo, was this webpage at Robot Research Lab, where they're building, they're doing real robots, physical robots, and doing PID line followers. So P standing for proportional integral derivative controller. And I've heard about these for ages. I had implemented related things long ago, but I never really understood it. And I was very afraid of it because it sounded like calculus, and all of this big stuff and so on. And the Robot Research Lab folks made it a lot easier to get started. And so the first thing we did was implement a PID without the I, proportional. So the bigger the error, the harder you correct. So the further Beevee drifts off the line between the tiles, the harder it corrects. That's that proportional part. And then the derivative part is if the error from last time is smaller than the error this time, that suggests we're homing in on the zero error case, which is where we want to be. So maybe we shouldn't correct as much as the current amount of error suggests. And I'm not sure how much that really helps for Beevee, because Beevee's stuff is so noisy, and the state of the world in the previous, what passes for a time step, is very confusing and so forth. So I'm not sure. But nonetheless, with some tuning, following the advice from a robot research lab, I got, the fact that Beevee is only driving on straight lines helps things quite a bit. But, there's so much noise. There's noise in the sensors. There's noise inside the cellular automata that Beevee's brain is implemented in. And there's noise explicitly added to the motors. So the commands that Beevee's brain sends down about how fast the motor should be going, they get mangled with just before they get delivered to the motors. And there's nothing that can be done about it. That all has to just be handled. So I felt pretty good about getting to follow the damn line faster. And I went on to counting tiles and to trying these controlled turns. So here's the story, but in the background is the state of the art in making controlled turns. Let's take a look at that. Beevee and Seneca were watching the results of the controlled turn experiments that had worked so spectacularly well. "Isn't this great?" said Beevee. Seneca didn't say anything. Beevee looked at Seneca and said, "What's up?" "So, Beevee, I'm leaving," said Seneca. "See you tomorrow," said Beevee. "Well, I won't be here tomorrow," said Seneca. "I'm going home. I might never be back." "Well, don't go," said Beevee. "Stay." "Well, I'm a summer intern," said Seneca, "and I was supposed to leave last fall. But I kept making excuses to stick around, and we did fun stuff, right?" "Brains are fun," said Beevee. "But now there's like politics and stuff out there, Beevee," said Seneca. Stuff's really fucked up. It's kind of not safe for me to stay in this country." "Well, that sucks," said Beevee. "It really does," said Seneca. "Look at me weaving there," said Beevee. "What's that about?" "Was I tired?" "I'm not sure," said Seneca. "I think you might have the sign wrong on your integral error." "Well, story of my life," said Beevee. "But look, Beevee, I've got a friend I'd like you to meet that I'm hoping you can stay with you. So, Beevee, meet Slim." "Ah! Big yellow ball! Push, 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 push!" No, said Seneca. "This is Slim the Mastodon. It represents the Fediverse. It represents one particular piece of the Fediverse, but I think it represents all of the Fediverse for now. Let's make it a little smaller so it's not so scary like a big yellow ball." "Okay," said Beevee. "Hi, Slim." "Hi, Beevee," said Slim. "I think y'all be great friends," said Seneca. "Until we meet again." So, the world out there sucks. It sucks for a lot of people, and it's going to suck for a lot of more people, it seems. This is my lame ass memorializing of it for today. So, okay, community. I got an email like a couple of months ago from a guy whose handle is Leviathan, Lansendorf, or David Lanz, something like that, who is the principal of this Libre Silicon project that is working to make a complete end-to-end chip manufacturing workflow that is all open source. And that is not, that's very hard. There's a ton of reasons why open source hardware is kind of a different beast, kind of harder than open source software, because there's a lot more customization in manufacturing physical stuff since you end up with physical chips that were manufactured one by one somehow, as opposed to just a pile of bits that can be stamped off in the world of software. Leviathan had seen the What Machines Want video and reached out, and I sort of lost track of the mail for a little bit, but finally I got back to it. And so in this past month, we had a Zoom call. There were four Libre Silicon folks on the call, and then me. And I didn't really get to meet any of them except for Leviathan. But it's like, it was like, Magnets, the silent guy, and H, his henchman. But it was great. Obviously, kindred spirits at some level, and interested in looking for way. I mean, they've actually done, a whole lot of stuff that is, getting very close to putting all the pieces together to having open source software that'll actually lay stuff out, that'll follow the rules of a particular foundry, that there's actually willing to make chips for them, and so on and so forth. It's really great. But, it's kind of low level. And so one of the things so we spun some ideas about how stuff that we might be able to do that would be relevant to indefinite scalability, relevant to the T2 tile project. And the long and short of it was that if I could build something on an FPGA that would demonstrate something useful, that would be a good intermediate position that would lead more quickly to a direct hardware implementation, perhaps hopefully using an entirely open source workflow. And so that's been sticking in my mind, and it's been sticking in my mind for quite some time. As I do these various projects, like when I did the digital replicator, the digital cell replicator, it got so big that it took so much time. It took, like weeks and weeks, months to do big runs on the T2 matrix because it's so slow. And the same thing is starting to happen with Beevee. I don't know if you saw what Beevee was doing. Beevee was marching around the grid, making smaller and smaller boxes until it was finally handling it all in the center. And so I want to, start running before catching the football a little bit and say, okay, I have learned a ton with the T2s and with Ulam and with all these projects. And I want to now go back for another iteration. Not a T3 tile necessarily, because that's asking a little bit too much. But to say, what if we wanted to speed it up? What if we really wanted to speed it up? So I wanted to use an FPGA or possibly something else, or possibly multiple things, some hardware spikes. So this is for the second half of 2025, assuming that, haven't got more compelling things that have to be done. Work on FPGAs to try to build a prototype event window processor that will have, hardware support to rip through the stuff. It'll still be doing sequential computation. We shall see. So that is it. Next month, the goal is Beevee localizes. actually has like an XY coordinate where Beevee believes it is after it's tossed into the world with no idea what it is. The stretch goal is Beevee builds a map somehow, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And the fun is to start making shopping lists. That is it. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look. Let's hope the world gets better. Hope to see you next time.